comic of the night. You guys have seen him on TV. He's a great stand-up. He is a New York legend when it comes to comedy. Please welcome Marc Maron to the stage.
Well, this is an odd situation. New York legend. I feel like I'm in some sort of interrogation. That it's sort of like, let's see if we can observe and figure out what happened to his career and why he's here. I don't even want to know how many people are really out there. So this has all been very good, this show. I've been sitting in the back listening to it, and I started to think, like, because the economy is so bad, what we're seeing is a lot of show business on the street. There's a lot of people who are singing on the train that shouldn't be singing. There's a lot of people who are playing instruments they really don't know how to play. And there are moments that I have where I realize that sometimes that stuff's not really essential, because you never know when you're in the hands of a professional. Let me explain. You don't have to laugh out of context. It's all right. I can handle the silence. I've been doing this a long time. So I'm on a train, and there's one of those moments where this guy gets on the train. You know when you're on a train and you don't even see what's happened, but you feel something has changed in the atmosphere of the car, where there's a moment where you're like, what the fuck just happened? And oh, that guy. So this guy gets on the train, and he stands in the doorway, and he's beat up, and he looks bad. Yeah, he's a mess. His teeth are fucked up, and he's just fucked up. And everyone's just sort of like, what's going to happen? And I see that he's holding a harmonica. So I'm like, we got a show coming. This guy stands in the middle of the train car and goes, I don't mean to bother anybody, because you probably had a pretty bad day. Well, I've had a bad day myself. And I'm like, I'm in. That's a good setup. This is going to be a good show. And then he says, this was his opener, he goes, I believe in magic. I think that's what's gotten me this far. Now, it's somewhat dubious as to what kind of magic would have gotten him to there, and whether or not I'd be proud of it, but I was excited to see what he had to offer. And then he picks up this harmonica and he puts it in his mouth, and he makes sounds that I could not even decipher as harmonica noises. I don't even know what I can compare them to. It was as if he was, stepping in a box of puppies. It was, there was screeching, it was like, it was as if a harmonica could scream. It did that for way too long. And everybody on the car was like, oh my God, when you're just like, when is it going to stop? And then he stops, and everyone's like, ah. And he takes this big long beat, and everyone's just looking at him. He goes, sometimes the magic doesn't happen. And I realized at that moment that, the magic probably never happens. And that's his act. And that was worth $5. I gave him $5. I have no idea what he did with it, but I don't question. Some people are not as tolerant. I was on a train once when a guy with no legs got on the train, begging for money, rolling through the car. It was awkward, but I gave him $1, because that's what I allot people with no legs. No legs dollar, crackhead quarter. If I have money, I'll give it to them, but I'll judge their need appropriately. And a guy standing next to me looks down at this guy with no legs, and under his breath says, fuck that. I'm not giving that guy money. And I'm standing there thinking, Jesus, what reason could you have for not giving a guy with no legs money angrily? No, fuck him. He's just going to take the money and cut his arms off. I've seen this before. You want to be a sucker, go ahead. I'm not falling for that twice. I'll be back next year with another guy pushing him. It's going to cost me $2. I'm not going to encourage him. So, that was kind of funny. What have I been thinking about? I know there's a lot of pressure to do the prepared material. But the economy's bad, and it's really weird because I was in Los Angeles for 6 years. I came back here 4 months ago, and I was concerned initially that New York, the soul of New York, had died, and that it just become this big outlet mall for Europeans, which it sort of has. I mean, they go to Bloomingdale's like it's a tribal bazaar. They're like, take everything. Their money is worth nothing. And I had these moments where I really didn't have any connection with the New York that was here. Like I was walking past a Whole Foods on Houston. What? A Whole Foods on Houston? I don't know how long you've been here or even how old these people are, but where that Whole Foods is, you would not go there for any reason other than to score crack or heroin or go to a bar or see Reverend Jen perform. But I was walking by and thinking, like, you know, this it's over, and New York is dead. And right as I was thinking that, there was this screaming homeless dude across the street, this sweaty older guy, and he was yelling at the air. He was just like, you know, I will fuck you in the ass. I will fuck you in the ass. And I thought, no, the soul of New York and heart is still beating in that man. He was gonna fuck the air in the ass. That is ambitious, if not visionary, you know? And now the economy just takes this big crap, and it was like, it made me feel almost encouraged. It was encouraging to me because all these people that have been waxing nostalgic about what New York used to be, it's coming back. You know, junkies in the streets, whores on 8th Avenue, burned out buildings, maybe a new Ramones will sprout on the Lower East Side. And maybe that guy can go back to the New York Poetry Project on St. Mark's and fuck people in the ass publicly and be rewarded for it. But, thank you. No reason I can't chew nicotine gum here. This is how most comics do this place. I just sit down and. Do you have a lot of comics? How long have you been doing this show, Dan? God forbid he drag me down here and then watch myself. So fucked up, man. I don't have to be so nice on Facebook. I mean, look what I'm doing. Facebook makes everybody too accessible. You know what I mean? People are IMing me like, hey, how's it going? I'm fine. They're like, I'm in this thing. Like, I'm thinking about doing comedy. I'm not really sure. And here are my jokes. I'm like, dude, I'm not how to help you. Just don't bank on it. Try to realize your limitations and know when it's done. I have this BlackBerry. I don't really know what it does. There's a lot of things on here though. I don't think I know what it does on purpose. I get the book that comes with it and I don't read it. And you know, I pick a sound and I put my two friends in and I'm good. Yeah, I laugh at my two friends. How many do you really have? Seriously. I hate people that are like, I have lots of friends. You don't. I have a lot of shallow relationships with people that talk behind your back and you call that drama a life because your life is fundamentally uninteresting. All you need are two, really. All I need is the main guy and the guy I go to when I drain the main guy. That's it. I'm a very needy, panicky man. I make calls like this. Dude, I'm fucked up. I'm in trouble. No, mentally, I'm just fucking, are you tired? All right, I'll call the other guy. Take a break. Dude, it's your day. It's your day. Fucking help me. And I find that when you don't know what they do, that means, when you don't know what your BlackBerries do, that means that you're surrounded by potential magicians. Like I had this incident, a BlackBerry event, where it went to the bottom of my emails for no reason. And I was standing on a corner just rolling it to the top of my emails. And a woman comes by and goes, just hit T. And I hit T and it went to the top and I was like, holy fuck, don't walk away, magic lady. Share more of your esoteric technological wisdom. Do not walk away. It's gotten to the point where I fear how much of my memory I've surrendered to this machine. Do you know there was a time where you knew people's phone numbers, at least 5 or 6 phone numbers in your head? Like you could just like, oh yeah, Todd is 212-274. Yeah, and now I'd be hard pressed to know mine on on a bad day. People are like, what's your number? Oh fuck, I don't, is it in here? I mean, the sad thing about it is like some people, if you lost your BlackBerry, you're like 3 days away from wandering the streets digging through garbage. Like, what's my name? Where do I live? Do I work someplace? I'm on medicine. But I'm not that much of a technophobe, really. I just don't seem to have the patience to learn how to fucking do anything. How the fuck do you guys invest so much time in entertaining yourself and learning how to do it with all these machines? Do I sound like an old fuck?
No.
I do?
No.
It's fucked up, right? I'm like old school, man. I don't watch much TV. I don't go on the internet much. I just, it's all about dread, panic, and revenge fantasies for me. I have a self-contained entertainment system. A lot of like me just sitting on the couch going, fuck that guy. Fuck that. Oh yeah, he's funnier than me. Fuck that. Fuck him and his show. I don't think that's bitterness, though. I think it's completely objective. I don't think. What's there to be bitter about? Doesn't end well for anybody. That was kind of grim, wasn't it? Do you want me to be upbeat? I live in Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah, the borough of geniuses. I've had that apartment there for so long. I was subletting it to some German lady. I'm back there, and it's like astounding that, like in Queens, you can stand on any corner in Queens, and within minutes, like 15 minutes, you hear like a conversation that's sort of like this. What? What? Huh? Am I right or what? You're like, what just happened? Now I don't know where the fuck everyone's from. And I don't have any problem with people from other places. I find it kind of enchanting and interesting. But I really have no fucking clue. I mean, I believe that there is a Croatian bar around the corner from my house. A Croatian bar. What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, I know bad things happen in Croatia, but then, like, I start to realize how entitled and selfish we are as Americans. Like, we're so fucking self-absorbed and stupid, and think that we're gonna, be successful and win the lottery, and we're just walking around thinking about ourselves. Like, sometimes I think about, like, I'm walking on the street thinking, like, well, I sure hope that BlackBerry bit works, because I've been working on that for a while. And the guy walking by me could be thinking, like, I can't believe they killed my family. And it's just to get out of my head sometimes. And then, like, how many, has anyone had bed bugs yet?
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking nightmare, dude. Like, I got divorced last year, and then I got bed bugs a little while ago. I want to be honest with you, though, I've never been more organized. Between my papers being in line and everything I own being wrapped in plastic, I'm fucking together. Relentless. Like, they're everywhere. Fucking watch out for them. If you are not OCD, when you get bed bugs, you will be introduced to your inner OCD person. It's impossible not to become obsessed with it. I fucking hate my landlord. And I hate whatever dirty immigrant brought them here. and I'm being general because I don't want to be racist, but some fucking filthy foreigner brought bed bugs into my building. Fuck you guys. I think this has been kind of entertaining so far. What was I going to say about Queens? Anything? I hate the fact that, like after 9/11, there was that time where even if you were a good-hearted person, you just became a little paranoid of people from Arab countries, and there was a lot of Egyptians where I lived, and there's Pakistanis across the hall, and I had these moments of, like, I don't know if they were racism, but there were just moments where I'd be consumed with paranoia, and I had to stop myself from knocking on the door over there, like, oh, what are you guys up to? What's going on? Look, I just want you to know that, like, I'm cool with it, just like, give me a heads up, so I can get the fuck out of here. You know, it's like, it's hard to bond with people from Middle Eastern countries sometimes, because I just don't, do you find it awkward? I mean, I don't know where you live, but if you live in Queens, you sort of have to get to know your neighbors, and there's, you know, it becomes sort of like, you know, you start those conversations, like, hey, that smells interesting, you know, what are you cooking? It's really interesting music. Is that goat that you have in the back? Are there any questions? Seriously. Anything? Did you publicize this at all? I mean, because I was wondering how much of this was hinging on my appearance. I'm doing a one-person show about pain and love this Sunday, and the rest of the Sundays in March at the Greenroom Theater, beneath where Mike Birbiglia, the doughy, more accessible, successful comedian, is performing. Questions? Let's improvise. This is the pit. Come on.
What time's your show?
That's an easy one. My show's at 7 o'clock on Sunday, downstairs in the subterranean trenches of that place.
Why'd you get divorced?
That's a good question. What happened was, my wife brought it to my attention that I had an anger problem. But she didn't say it like that. She said, I'm leaving. And she took her vagina and just left. And you don't assume they're just going to take their vagina and leave. And what ultimately was, look, I'm a difficult person. And, you know, what some people call yelling, I accuse them of having tonal issues. And I did the best I could. I tried. You know, I used to cook her breakfast. I cook her waffles and pancakes and coffee. But you know what I learned over time? Is that no number of pancakes will erase, shut the fuck up! Seriously, just shut the fuck up. How would that be? Once those start stacking up in a woman's heart, you could have a truckload